So before the season of Tower God anime aired in April of 2020, I made a video about the opening and ending credits. Now that we have a little more context as we've gotten through the entire season, let's take another look at it. I will say again that this opinion is coming from a guy who usually skips both the opening and ending credits after the first episode. But I will say that I've been trying to watch the OP and ED more for the shows that I've watched after April to get more of a feel for the music and scenes and how they might tie into the themes that the studio is trying to showcase. I will be streaming my read-through of Tower God soon, so if you don't want to miss that out, follow me on Twitch. Now, let's begin. An OP or opening I think is really important, especially for the first episode, as it's usually the first thing that the audience sees outside of the trailer and promo of the material, so that the viewer can decide whether to continue for the rest of the season. An ED can work wonders if the tone and mood flows well from the ending tone of the episode into the ending song and subsequent visuals. I think that music for both the OP and ED by Stray Kids, Top for the opening and Slum for the ending, were amazing choices. As some people were saying that the music isn't the right fit for the series, but like, what is the right fit? Tower of God is a fantasy saga, so I don't know what people want that music to represent. Anyways, I won't be focusing too much on the music, mainly the visuals that accompany it for the opening and ending credits. I will hold to the title that I have, that the opening was an attempt at uniqueness, but lacking in execution. The opening does, however, represent the choppy and incomplete feeling that the season had for me. I really didn't like the chop cut of the black screen showing the people's names, which, by the way, I have no problem with giving credit to where credit is due for the people that worked to get this anime up and running for us to see our favorite characters animated. But I could have, it could have been part of the scene instead of maybe just a static black one. And the OP didn't change throughout the season, which again, it is understandable because it's only 13 episodes. Now let's talk about the visuals themselves. So there are three categories: bird, bomb. I try to go for alliteration, so I say broken, but the last one is just miscellaneous. We have the shot and several shots of the hawk, eagle, or some form of predatory bird species. So I'm just going to refer to it as hawk, kind of overgeneralizing. And these shots are pretty dispersed throughout the OP. The key differences is that we have this hawk that flies over some land, the hawk in the sky, and then the hawk in Bomb's eyes. I still believe that a more nautical term would be a better fit for the theme of the tower, with so many water type references. In the webtoon itself, Bomb has been referred to a shark, a fish in a small pool, etc. The most recent reference to this was chapter 469 or season 3 episode 52. Here, Hwarang says that compared to that boy's potential, you guys are a bunch of shrimps against a giant shark, or against a great shark, where the boy is Bomb and you guys is Jihad's army. But again, this reference has been made in a hot minute, and I'm assuming the studio worked on the opening at the earliest 2 years ago, so I wouldn't fault them here. Let's see what this hawk means. Still not entirely sure. But I feel that this is the main reference to Rachel in the opening. Rachel is a driving force for Bomb in this, first half of the story, and it continues past just season 1. The hawk is always just out of reach, soaring for a higher sky above it, and never really looking down on the land below. This is what Rachel's dream is, to pursue the real sky and see the stars that she dreams of to become a star herself. And of course we have that shot of Rachel, or the hawk in Bomb's eyes, because, that's the only thing that he's actually dreaming for. We have various forms of Bomb in this opening, and I think it's fine that we didn't have any supporting cast here, because the little brief opening scene of power, wealth, and authority, where it showed some snapshots of our full cast. Although I didn't really like that they just reused the trailer stuff for this, but whatever. Now there are a lot of poses of Bomb, so let's talk about ones that I felt were more significant or relevant to the plot. The one with the black ground of Bomb's head in his knees while there are flower petals everywhere looked to me like the aftermath before Bomb actually entered the tower, but after Rachel entered the tower, because we see the loneliness from his posture as Rachel has disappeared from his world. Another shot that I really enjoyed was Bomb floating with the red moon in the background. I don't think it has that much relevance for this season, but it gave me Floor of Death vibes. Obviously from the lighting, but from his stance, he kind of looks like a martyr. And I think the relevance here for this season is Bomb's role, which was to get Rachel to the top. Or more like Bomb's innocence was the price to pay to get Bomb to climb the tower seriously. Before the push or Rachel getting hurt, Bomb's only goal was to find Rachel and get back to his cave, his safety. But the push signifies Bomb's death for Viol to take the stage and climb for revenge, or maybe for confusion, honestly, as Bomb doesn't really know what he will even do when he meets Rachel again in the future, right before the Hell Train arc. There are 2 shots of Bomb in the rain, which I think the only time we see rain is in Khun's backstory, which is a anime only part, so this is probably parallel of Bomb getting cast out by Rachel, as Khun was getting cast out for not helping his own sister become a princess of Jihad. The green shocked / sad Bomb seems to me like what Bomb must have felt on the inside when Hidan said to take the ball test against the monster that is the eel. Also, we have Bomb falling with the yellow / orange background. Seems to be his feeling in the Crown game, which has a similar color palette, as he feels that Rachel essentially, especially when she gets hit, is willing to turn his world upside down, like in this shot, and lose the game just to save and be with her. I really tried to understand the smoke and Bomb disappearing, but I'm not gonna lie, this is a stretch for me. Most likely it's his innocence going away, but I mean, where does this smoke even come from? I don't really understand. If you're getting to this point of this video, and the OP doesn't feel, I don't know, the opening doesn't really feel like an accurate representation of Bomb and his journey of the tower within season 1, both in the anime or the webtoon. If anyone wants to shed some light on this part, especially with the smoke, let me know in the comments down below. And the thing is that we get so many of these smoke-filled shots. Like, is this missed? I don't really know. We get one shot of Bomb's back with the background, and that background has a similar texture as the green grass as the first shot of the opening with a hawk flying above. So this could be Rachel looking down for her last time at Bomb before going for her real goal. And again, by the time that Bomb actually notices the hawk at the end of the opening, it's too late for him to adequately chase after Rachel. Anyways, let's get to the last category, that is miscellaneous. Again, I try to go for some alliteration, but Broken doesn't really unify these last shots that I collected. I'm glad that we actually got some reference to Jihad, who is the main antagonist for Bomb throughout the story, and we see the role that Jihad and his princesses play via Anak and Androsi in this season. So this shot shows us the crest. I still like the blood leaking from the princess backstory that we get in the actual episode when that's actually discussed, and this shot in the opening is a nice prelude to that moment in the season. We get a Persona 5-esque shot of Bomb running by some bars, and this could be by the ball test or the crown game test, since both of those exams have this kind of structure, and this parallels really well with the shots we get in the first episode and the last episode when we're back in the first floor. We get several shots of back outlines of characters such as Hidan and Rachel as they look at the eel, and this similar shot in the opening is cool that it's noted this early. The flower glass shattering paired with Bomb falling through some shattered glass, I feel like is a reiteration of Bomb's innocence collapsing. But again, I think this point has been shown across more than enough. Let's get to my favorite shot of the opening, and I feel like you guys could kind of guess. The water paired with Bomb drowning. Finally, we get some form of water of the life that Shinso is depicted in the anime in this actual opening. Bomb drowning, especially with the red flashes, immediately reminded me of like the 25% red diagonal slash that took part of the panel when Bomb was on top of Rachel right before she entered the tower. I'm sure I'll find the picture and put it up. I don't really know why this is what came to me first, but this is the connection I made. Bomb drowning in something that he is proficient and talented in is kind of funny and interesting for me to see in the opening. I really wish that we got much more of this expanded, and maybe even some of that obnoxious golden Shinso that the studio displays at the over-the-top moments in the season. At least it would have had some nice tie-ins with the actual opening itself. The ending was visual wise garbage. I don't really see the relevance of Rachel in her white clothing that's a little dirty, and this was the ending for most of the EDs for this season. We did just have a blank screen with credits for episode 1. I think it was episode 6 and 13 where the ED was different. Episode 6 was when we had Onyx and Androsi's interactions with the fisherman positioning training, and episode 12 was post-push of bomb falling through the Shinzo water down to the bottom of the wine glass. I thought both of those EDs in episode 6 and 12, especially episode 12, made the song itself, Slum, hit hard. But yeah, the visuals were not for me. I don't think they really added that much. All in all, the music was a great fit because of the tone it gave, as well as the K-pop fans influx that watched the series. I don't know if they watched the full season, but I know that they at least watched the first episode for the Stray Kids. This was an attempt at uniqueness, and to be honest, a poor attempt, because I don't feel that the choppy opening and the ambiguous scene for the ending added anything for the tone and theme for season 1. That's all for the video. If you get a chance, subscribe to get access to these videos often, ideally every week. My social media can be found by searching Inspirational on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to my designer. You can find his work on Instagram at jetnv_photography. Shout out to my editor. You can find him on Twitter at youngobesity. See you all next time.